Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have an update to share about one of Trump's Capitol insurrectionists. It's time for an episode of Where Are They Now?
Was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
So 28-year-old Frank Bratjan Jr. goes by the name of Joe. He is a New York resident, and he was seen on surveillance video entering and inside the Capitol. And he was seen in a large group of people who were yelling at officers and attempting to push past them. The mob was heard on video yelling, quote, "Fuck McConnell, the police work for us," and push. Although there's no evidence showing that Bratjan personally took part in these actions, he was standing amongst the crowd. He was about 4 to 5 rows away from the officers, and he was watching as all of this was going down. And as the crowd surged forward, Bratjan moved closer to the officers. He also shared his own January 6 photos on Instagram and Facebook. And in one, he recounted how he, quote, "approached the Capitol building with an army of American patriots, with war vets leading the way. We stormed up those steps and into the halls. I've never been pepper sprayed or tear gassed, and I'm hoping I'll never have to again." Although he wrote rear gassed instead of tear gassed. And I think that's probably an entirely different thing altogether that also doesn't sound very pleasant. Anyway, he went on to say, quote, "Hopefully our message to Congress was received." And, quote, "We didn't elect them to carry out their own agenda. We elected each and every one to carry our agenda." These people seriously believe they're the only ones on earth who matter. They're the only ones whose vote should count. It is unreal. Anyway, following the Capitol attack, Bratjan moved to Minnesota. He was trying apparently to avoid detection and arrest. He also deleted all of his social media posts and any comments that others made about his actions. That didn't really work out for him, though, because Bratjan was arrested in June of this year, and he was charged with entering restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, and parading or demonstrating in a Capitol. In September, Bratjan pleaded guilty to the parading charge, and he was facing up to 6 months in jail, 5 years of probation, and $5,000 in fines. However, the prosecutor was seeking a jail term of only 14 days, followed by 3 years of probation, 60 hours of community service, and $500 in restitution. They told the judge that Bratjan deserved some time behind bars because he admitted that he witnessed violence towards officers and that he was afraid, but he didn't turn back. In fact, he entered the Capitol through a broken window as alarms were blaring. So he knew he wasn't supposed to be in there. However, the prosecutors did give Bratjan credit for speaking with the FBI willingly, and he admitted to his actions on January 6th, which is very unique. He also admitted to thinking that because he was wearing a face mask, that he wouldn't be identified. He said that he thought it would never, quote, "come back to bite me." And they say that Bratjan described what happened at the Capitol as gross. Unfortunately, this case was overseen by U.S. District Judge Trevor McFadden. He is a Trump appointee. He was literally on Trump's transition team, and he's compared the January 6th events to BLM protests in 2020. He's been entirely too lenient with these defendants. I couldn't locate any details about what was said at the hearing, but in a sentencing memo to the court, Bratjan's attorney asked for a sentence of probation only, and he noted that in 2010, Bratjan apparently suffered a traumatic brain injury. He stated, quote, "His stepfather reports that since the accident, his thinking can be imprudent and without consideration to the more nuanced effects from a decision." So Judge McFadden ended up sentencing Bratjan to only 6 months of probation, 60 hours of community service, a $1,500 fine, and a $500 restitution fee. Considering who the judge is, I'm shocked that he went above the government's request for financial penalties and actually hit him with a fine. This is not ideal, but like I said, considering the judge, this is the best that we could hope for. And based on previous cases, he probably would have let this guy walk. If this guy had opted for a bench trial, he wouldn't have received anything because there were similar circumstances with other defendants, and he completely let them off the hook. There was no punishment whatsoever. So anyway, guys, I will let you know if I hear more. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.